Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nick from MMA Pixels here with Shaheem Ali. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. You're about to have your first mixed martial arts fight, amateur fight, coming up March 23rd at 209 beatdown 8 against Jesse Lawson. Um, can you walk me through like what made you take this fight? Why did you decide to do MMA?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, Rayford, who's one of the promoters, Rayford and John with the JR Promotions. I had known him on Facebook. I know a lot of the fighters because I've trained in MMA for years. And he actually saw me at a pro fight in the stands, and I almost got in a fight with a guy that was being obnoxious there. And he said, "Hey, you know what? I'd like to have you come and fight." And I said, "Well, I have a pro fight coming up, my first pro fight," but then it got canceled. So I said, "Okay." He called me later and said, "You want this fight?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll take the fight." So it's a way I can fight and not get in trouble. So yeah, that's why I took the fight,
Right.
and that's how it happened.
So you had plans on just going pro MMA?
I initially didn't, but then some of the guys I was training with that were pro fighters, they suggested I just go pro, and so I was just waiting for an opportunity, and that guy backed out of the fight, so I never had it. Therefore, I could still fight amateur.
Right. I mean, that may seem strange, someone jumping right into the pros, but you have a lot of combat experience, correct?
That's right. I mean, obviously street fighting growing up, and then Weichiru karate, which is very similar to Jesse Lawson's style of Goju-Ryu. And then I became a Nidan in Weichiru, became second degree black belt. I won in black belt full contact kumite, which the difference is that you can hit as hard as you want, but it stops after you hit.
Was that
After
for the Earth realm, or
was that?
I said, was that for the Earth realm? The
Yeah, that was it.
Kumite.
Yeah, that was in 1990, so it was all North America and Europe. But I ended up winning the grand championship in sparring, and then from there I did kickboxing with Herb Cody for a short period of time in Santa Rosa. He thought I was a spy because I didn't tell him my background. I just was there to learn, so I didn't tell him what I knew. I wanted to learn what I didn't know. After that, I did, and I had some dojos with another gentleman down there. While in college, I taught at Sonoma State martial arts, and then I got into boxing at UFC gym here in South Sacramento. Then I got into MMA stuff, jiu-jitsu at UFC gym, and then at Uriah Faber's gym at Ultimate Fitness. I was able to go on there for 5 weeks um, with train with TAM, train with Team Alpha Male. By far the best training I'd ever had. And then recently, my roommate Idris Wasi, he's actually a camo champion. He's a belt holder. He did quite well, and then went into pro boxing and pro MMA. So that's who I'm just training with now. And so yeah, that's my background: boxing, martial arts, MMA,
Oh,
very little jujitsu, but some.
okay. I was gonna ask. I'm not totally familiar with all those martial arts, but it sounds like all of them are stand up, correct?
Other than the jujitsu, which I'm a real novice at, yeah, it is all stand up. And my opponent is a striker. He's more of a brawler, from what I've been told. But
Was was that
he's
part of your plan to go to Team Alpha Male because of the grappling and the ground game?
no, it's just the gentleman who let me go in there and train with him. I just wanted the opportunity. I told him, look, you guys need heavier guys in here, and I can take punches. I can take a lot of punishment. Let me come in and train with him. You need heavier guys, and I can take the punishment at the same time. I want to train with a high class team, a top class team. So I was able to do that. Uriah told me I can train with the team, but not beyond the team. I mean, I was 40, was it 46, 48 at the time, something like that. So I get it. I'm not a marketable guy at my age. I'm just a 50-year-old that stays in shape, likes to fight, feels young at heart, and likes the violent nature of it.
Right. Yeah. In camo, you have to be within 10 years, and I know it's kind of hard to find somebody that age who's active. Um. So after this fight, do you think you would turn pro?
I'm actually going to take this fight, then focus on saving money, getting married again. I mean, so once that's done, I have. Well, I'll tell you later, not on camera. But once I get done with the fight, I get married. Then I plan on the surgery, rehab, and then taking more fights. Yes, just to do it because I enjoy fighting and I like It's like a man-on-man violent nature type sport, and I thrive on that.
It's I, okay. I respect what you said. I don't want to go too far into it, but is this something that's been on going on for years, or is this because you started training, you got hurt a little bit, or
Uh, I'll tell you after the fight. I don't want the promoters to have in too much details, but I passed my physical, and I'm ready to go.
that's all that matters, right?
That's right. That's right. Everybody fights hurt practically if they're in any type of fighting sport or a physical sport.
Right. So you mentioned your Team Alpha Male. Where are you currently training at today?
I'm just training with my roommate right now. I was going to go to the UFC gym again, but I just couldn't get over there with time, just from the work that I do. And so I trained with Idris Wasi. He was a great coach. He was a champion in Camel himself. He did, he had a lot of fight. He had 30 amateur fights, 20 in Camel and 10 outside the state. Uh, and then he had pro boxing matches and pro MMA fights. So young guy, 28 years old. I think he just turned 29. But he's my roommate, so it's like he's right here for mitt work. He's right here for sparring and powerlift things like that.
Right, and he'll be in your corner on the 23rd.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I had another guy that was going to be there who's a boxer, a great friend of mine from UFC gym, but I just haven't had a chance to get over there.
Right on.
Train, so.
We were talking a little bit before, but you mentioned you've seen a couple of Jesse's fights. He has two fights, but they were way back in 2015. Do you expect that the same fighter you're going to fight on the 23rd?
I don't. I've seen one of the fights. I've only seen one, but he looks the same physicality wise. He still has a. And again, I'm not trying to say anything bad. We all have jobs, but he doesn't have that physicality that I have or explosiveness that I have. I was noticing when he jabs, he leans back, which is not the proper way to jab. It's not a boxing jab. You can see he does some martial arts, straight punches with it, exposing his jaw, leans back when he kicks, leans back when he punches, drops his hands when he kicks, and he just has no fluidity. He's stiff. So I would expect a quick middle round knockout.
Right
That's what I expect. I don't think he can take my power. I think you saw some videos of me in terms of power at 195. I don't see how he's going to survive that once I connect. So I'm looking forward to the fight, though.
You mentioned work. What type of work do you do?
Yeah, I graduated law school back in 2011. In my second year of law school in 2008, I started an attorney support services company. And after winning Best Brief in law school, I started making money writing all the legal briefs for different law firms, doing contract work. So I write complaints, motions, oppositions, appellate briefs. I get to do it from home, but I just work a lot.
Right on.
So yeah.
That's cool, man. That's like kind of out of the norm for this profession, I would say.
Yeah.
But,
Not a lot of doctorate degrees in fighting.
right.
Not a lot of degrees in fighting, yeah.
So who's been helping you out the most in this training camp? I know your roommate. Anyone else you want to shout out?
A lot of people reached out, and then when I reached out to them, they were all supportive to help me. I just didn't get my butt over there. I had one of my buddies, Angel Banuelos. He's a recognized Tekken. He's invited me over to where they train at Body Tribe. It's just on Fridays. Every other Friday, I have my kids, and it seems the Fridays I don't. Something's coming up with work. And then my buddy Anthony Charnell, who's a pro boxer and MMA fighter. He's offered to help out with boxing. Suleiman Ahmadjar, he actually has a title fight in San Francisco on the same night, but he was willing to help me with grappling. It's just, man, life. With life, you're working, you're in a divorce, you have custody issues, it's just too many things going on, but I'm definitely going to fight no matter what. So I'm not going to let the promotion down. I'm just going to go fight and try to end this fight quickly. But it's pretty much just Idris, great guy. He knows what he's doing. He has a lot of experience in the ring, which is something you can't get without being in the ring or learning from someone in the ring. So yeah, pretty much Idris Wasi. So.
Right on. Do you have tickets available?
I do. In fact, I have hard tickets for anyone from Stockton and Sacramento area that would like to buy tickets. They can actually contact me. I'll give them my cell number, but also they can contact me on Facebook, or they can try to follow me on Instagram. I'd be happy to accept them. But I have tickets locally, and then they can also go to Eventbrite. I don't have the exact. Let's see if I get the exact link. I'll give it to you. But Yeah, I was gonna write this down before.
Uh, can you
Yeah.
shout out your Instagram real quick?
What's that?
Can you shout out the name of your Instagram?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's Shaheem Shaheem underscore Ali JD. So it's SHAHEEM and then underscore and then my last name Ali and then JD in capitals. That's my Instagram page. It's private, so if anyone wants to follow, I'll be looking out for anyone recently, and I'll add them in. And then my Facebook page is Shaheem Ali JD as well, but just Shaheem space Ali space JD, I believe.
You gonna accept if Jesse Lawson sends you a friend request?
Of course. Hey, listen, I've done training for so many years. I respect everybody who's in there that takes a risk to get hit. This guy would be my friend before the fight and after the fight, but he'll be my enemy during the fight.
Right on.
So uh, that's just how I am. I respect everybody in this sort of fight industry, but once the bell rings, we're fighting. That's it, and it's a fight.
Right on. You mentioned you went to some 209 beatdown shows before, so you know it's pretty fun. Crowd's pretty crazy.
Well, I've seen a bunch of pro fights. I haven't seen amateur fights actually, but I've seen them on video. I've watched videos of it since I took the fight, and I mean it's going to be an exciting show. I believe there's 15 fights where there's going to be a lot of violence and bad intentions from everybody, and may the better man win in each fight. And I'm looking forward to it. If you're going to go spend $40 on something, this is the one to spend it on because it's going to be a lot of fun. If you like violence, you like fighting, you like excitement, it's going to be happening that night for sure.
I can't say it any better. Shaheem Ali, March 23rd, Modesto, California.